Greetings, everyone. My name is Paul Ciccarello, and this is Mark Bellotta. Today, we're going to talk about Red Sox because we're not really technically doing a Sports Zone show today since Chuck is not here. We don't have to listen to him complaining. We don't have to listen to him moaning about things that aren't going away. And in fact, he just left today because the show wasn't going to look great. So I decided, why not have my buddy and I do our own show? What do you think about that?
You know, absolutely. I mean, why not do our own show? I think we know just about enough of us, the two of us combined, probably more than Chuck does, so let's do it.
Another thing is, Chuck's face is plastered all over MCTV 10. This year, me being the associate producer, I'm going to try to do everything possible to get other people on TV. So I might even start my own show, and Mark and I could do one just like this. We could just sit here and talk about baseball or anything, really.
Absolutely. Just do like a back and forth show. I think it'd be a lot of fun, involve, everybody, get a little bit of thought going. Absolutely.
So, all right. I guess we can move on to Red Sox. Man, they are red hot lately. It's really amazing. It's like a dream come true for any Red Sox fan. But as we look back over the past 86 years, I think it is now.
Yep, 86.
A lot of those dreams and hopes have been quite often by the Yankees.
Everyone, that's one thing. It's always the talk about the Yankees, the 26 World Championships. Well, I got a number for you. 27. Note this to all the Yankee fans. You have never won a World Series since the year 2000. Ever since the beginning of the millennium, you have not been able to win one. Not a one. That 27 is the one thing that has eluded you. And we're going to keep you from it this year yet again. Now, we have a series starting up this weekend, starting tonight as a matter of fact, 7 o'clock. It's going to be Orlando El Duque Hernandez, who is 8-0, against Bronson Arroyo, who is 9-9 for the season. What do you have for thoughts on that, Paul?
Well, Bronson Arroyo, he just sometimes he has just really good days. He's perfect with pitching. And other times he has a really bad day. I mean, I guess it's the same with every pitcher, Pedro wasn't really that great against. I mean, he was good, but he gave up the 2 home runs, and we never caught up to
against Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah. And just as a programming note, you may be watching this, and we may have already gone through the Yankee series. Hopefully, they won. I don't know because I don't have a time machine. I haven't built one yet.
We're working on it.
We're working on it, really. I'm going to take quantum mechanics at some point. And I'll build a time machine. I promise you.
Okay. In any event, I'd like to offer some of my opinions as far as Bronson Arroyo goes. This kid, he really has a bright future. I mean, he has one of the most devastating curveballs I've ever seen. Almost like a Barry Zito, because what he does is throws it with his 2 fingers in here, coming into the glove, like this. What that happens is it's called a 12-6 curveball. So it arcs in a position like this, and ducks down away from the hitter. So when you're swinging, you completely miss the ball. Now, I mean, it's absolutely amazing what he's been able to do. But the problem he's had over the course of the season is that he hasn't been able to control it. He's been working with Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, in order to get things online. And I think now he finally got his record back to a .500 winning percentage, meaning he's won 9 out of his 18 starts, which computes to half. So the biggest challenge, I think, in this game is going to be getting runs early. Getting those runs early against El Duque Hernandez, because he has been the rock of this starting rotation. I mean, he's 8-0, has not lost a start in his last 5 consecutive starts. I mean, the guy's a machine. Sure, he may be like 42 or 39. God knows what. They don't know what his age is. The Cubans don't really care. But, I mean, this guy is a machine. And if you don't get to him early, he could settle into a groove and really, really hurt you. The one thing I am looking forward to, facing Tom Gordon, Paul Quantrill, and Mariano Rivera. All 3, they only use 3, the Yankees. They use 3 relievers, just those 3, all the time. They get so tired that they blow games for them. That's where we're looking to make up runs in this series.
Yeah, I do remember a game. I think it was July 26th. 3-1 to Miller, 1 out, 1 on.
July 24th. Yep, we won that game 11-10 in the 9th inning against Mariano Rivera. That was it's especially amazing because Rivera is probably one of the most dominant closers in the history of the game. The amazing thing is his success is based only on 2 pitches. He has a 4-seam fastball and a 2-seam. That's all he does. But it's so effective. He's able to locate his pitch all over the plate, and no one can hit him. He's unhittable.
Yeah, but when you get that hit,
exactly, you have to. That's the thing. You have to capitalize, just like with every other pitcher. Capitalize on those mistakes. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it later because you may never see another one.
Yeah. Like
That's
you see, when you watch Millar, he's always looking for that fastball that he wants to just cream out of the park.
exactly. You saw that. You've seen that in the past 2 nights with those home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of them have been fastballs. Both of them have been out over the plate. Just clocks it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Now, as for a prediction, what do you think for tonight? Do you see anything here?
You mean who's going to win tonight?
Yeah.
Or?
What do you think? Possibly a prediction of a score, or maybe matchups, anything, hot players, something like that.
Well, I really honestly don't think we'll be able to take the sweep of the series. We really need to, but I think we can take 2 out of 3.
Yes.
And as for tonight, it just all depends on how Arroyo pitches. If he can hold up well, we'll be able to win tonight's game. I know, because I have faith in Manny and Ortiz that they'll just be able to hit the balls and get the RBIs in.
Absolutely.
And in terms of a score, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game tonight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The question is, can Arroyo handle Yankee Stadium? I think he's proven that he can. There are going to be other people like Rob Nair from ESPN who says that he can't. I think that Arroyo has really had almost like done a complete 360 since the beginning of the season. At the beginning, he was really shaky. He didn't have any control of any of his pitches. He was giving up home run after home run. He was behind in counts to hitters, walking batters. I mean, it was just horrible to watch. But really, I think now he's begun to turn it around. I think he's on a 5 or 6-game winning streak. It's pretty darn impressive.
They're all on winning streaks.
Yeah.
Really,
because the Red Sox, to be able to come back against the Yankees thus far, we have won 20 out of 22 games. That's unheard of. To win 20 consecutive games in and of itself is ridiculous. Sure, you have the occasional losses to a guy like a Ted Lilly who pitches near perfect game against you, but that's what it takes to beat us. Then fine. You tip your cap, go out there the next night, and try it again.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mark, but I guess we're going to have to take a little commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our Red Sox talk and our preview of this weekend's game. See you later.
Hello and welcome back. I'm here with my associate Paul over here, and we're here to talk about Game 2 of the Yankee series. We started off with Game 1, which was Arroyo against El Duque Hernandez. Game 2 is going to be a Saturday national telecast, 1 o'clock on the Fox network. It's going to feature Derek Lowe for the Red Sox, and for the New York Yankees, it'll be John Lieber. Paul, what do you have for opinions on this game?
Well, and once again, it's sometimes Lowe has. He's been great lately since
Yes.
It's the All-Star break. He's been awesome. Before the All-Star break, he didn't have it. So I have faith in Lowe for this game.
That's an excellent insight. Derek Lowe he's really turned his season around since the All-Star break. Because if you had listened to the rumors before that, especially during the time of the Nomar trade, most of the talks around baseball were that Lowe was heading out of town too. They said it was going to be a package of Nomar Garciaparra and Derek Lowe, along with Matt Merton, the prospect from AA. Derek Lowe has gone from complete mediocrity to, almost immortality. It's amazing. He's been a really solid starter. That sinker ball is working for him, getting a lot of ground ball outs. And he has a very, very solid defensive core. You got Kevin Youkilis taking over for the injured Bill Miller. You got Orlando Cabrera, Cabby as we like to call him here in Boston. We have Pokey Reese, one of Paul's favorite players.
I like Pokey.
Loves Pokey. And then, of course, we have Doug Minkiewicz, who is probably, I think, the best defensive first baseman in the entire major leagues. Now, for the Yankees, John Lieber, one topic that I would like to discuss, because this is a guy the Yankees picked up from the Chicago Cubs off the waiver wire. Now, he's had a couple of constructive arm surgeries on his elbow, had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago, still has yet to prove that he's a consistent major league starter. After that year, he went, I think it was 15-6 with the Chicago Cubs. He's been absolutely despicable. He's been horrible. Got no outs, giving up all kinds of hits all over the place. And Steinbrenner is on a very short leash with this guy. He's just waiting to pull the strings, and he's going to be gone. So I think if he can have a good start against the Red Sox, he has a chance of staying in New York. I think if he gets hit hard, especially early, he's going to be yanked, and I think he's going to be gone from the Yankees. What do you think, Paul?
Speaking of pitchers that are horrible, did you hear that B.K. Kim has showed up in the clubhouse? I think it was last night.
I did hear that. BK Kim, he's not known very affectionately in our townhouse, Methuen Townhouse.
Yeah, Methuen.
Methuen. In any event, BK Kim, we traded Shea Hillenbrand. I don't know about you, but I'm beginning to regret that trade.
Well, I mean, back then we were trying to get good bullpen pitchers, and
We were.
It didn't really work out, did it?
Because, in Korea, when he was an 18-year-old, he was a starting pitcher, and he was one of the best. He was on the Korean All-Star team for a couple of years. He came over to the Diamondbacks, and they put him, he was originally a starting pitcher. They said with that submarine delivery he uses, probably make him a closer because no one had ever seen that before. Lo and behold, it produced great results up until game series is 3, 4, and 5, when he gave up all 3 games. But BK Kim, I don't know. When he's out on the mound, it really seems like he loses his concentration. He just doesn't seem like he's in the game. He's throwing the pitches. The ball goes all over the place. He's like, oh, there goes another one.
And then he hits players too, and we get free walks to them.
Yep, gives them free base on balls, and you can't afford to give up extra outs, especially to a team as talented as the New York Yankees. These guys capitalize on mistakes. That's what they've been known for in their entire history. They make mistakes go out of the ballpark.
But we don't have to worry about BK Kim because they said he's probably not going to be activated.
Yeah.
Probably for the rest of the season.
He's in Epstein's doghouse. Epstein really doesn't have grudges against very many people. He's a very reasonable guy, barely even 30 years old. He does not like BK Kim one iota. I think he is going to be on the train out. We're paying him $10 million of useless money that's just sitting around, so he's going to be gone. I think, though, the key to tomorrow's game, getting back onto the subject of Game 2, the key to tomorrow's game is going to be, being able to capitalize on Lieber's mistakes, because John Lieber is a pitcher known for giving up a lot of gopher balls. He doesn't really pitch very consistently. And when he does pitch consistently, he still makes mistakes. So what the Red Sox brass needs to do is wait for that opportunity to come along. It may not come in the first inning, may come in the 9th inning. You really don't know. But if he has a solid outing, you really have to watch for that curveball especially, or the fastball. His fastball can reach upwards of 94 to 95 miles an hour after the surgery. So
that's blindingly fast.
He can be very, very effective. It's going to be really a matter of batter concentration. I really hope that that's the key to winning all these games, is getting those early runs. If we can do that, we have a chance.
I think we could definitely take the second game if we don't take tonight.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll take tonight. I don't want to be pessimistic, although I am pessimistic at times.
But not on this show.
Not on this show. Today, this show, Paul is going to be optimistic. In fact, we should rename the show to Paul's Optimism about sports.
Paul's Optimism. I like it. I think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah. Write in, just email me if you like that. No, don't email me, because I'll just delete it.
Okay, well, after this, we're going to be taking another commercial break. So sit back, relax, and we'll be back for part 3.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Mark Bellotta again, and if you've been watching, you know that we've been talking about Red Sox, specifically the Yankee series that's going to be this weekend. So last 2 segments we did Game 1, and then we did Game 2. Now we're going to start Game 3.
Okay, this Game 3 matchup, it's going to be Pedro Martinez, sporting his 15 wins, going into New York, the heart of New York, the Bronx, going to be pitching against Mike the Moose Mussina, and he's only at 13-9 for the season. Quite frankly, I'm not that impressed, Paul. This guy, the Yankees shelled out somewhere around $90 million to get this guy, and he should have come more highly advertised. We paid $160 for Manning, and look what he's done. He's gone over with like 40 home runs and 120, 150 RBIs every year. And
just keep in mind that Pedro, you may remember, he just pitched a couple days ago. He's only going on a 4 days rest. We've skipped all the way through our bullpen, our starting rotation.
Yep. Skipping through the starting rotation, getting it ready for the playoffs, provided there will be,
we will get there.
We will get there.
Thank you.
Now.
Remember, I'm being optimistic on this.
That's right. This is the Optimism show. Okay. So, in any event, Mike Mussina, he's a really unique pitcher, especially when he came to the big leagues out of Pennsylvania. He threw, obviously, the basic fastball, curveball, changeup. Now, he throws something also called a knuckle curveball. It's essentially the same thing. It's almost like a wobbly splitter. So when he grips it, he uses his index finger and his middle finger in order to grip the ball, almost using his fingernails to throw it in a downward motion, just letting go like this, almost like you're flicking rain off your fingers. And that motion causes the ball to tumble like this. Once it does that, the batter has almost no chance of hitting it because it either goes to the sideways, or maybe it goes up or down. It's almost impossible to hit. The problem is that his fastball is starting to straighten out. Instead of maybe arcing down or coming up, it's staying straight down the middle. And his velocity is not as good as it used to be. When he was with the Baltimore Orioles, he was a lot tougher. You know, he had a fastball probably 96, 97 miles an hour. Now it's probably more around, like I'd say, a 92 to a 93, almost like Pedro. But Pedro, on the other hand,
Pedro gets those balls up there, though.
He does. I really admire Pedro for his efforts because, you know, people thought after his arm surgery, after coming back from the past couple of years, that he would not be the same form. And for a while, we didn't think he was. But now, because from going from 88 to 89 mile an hour fastballs to almost up to about 94, which is pretty darn impressive considering he was up to about a 97 in 1999. It's really amazing because Pedro, you know, he's only 31 years old, still got plenty of good years in him, and I think he's still got a future with the Red Sox.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I'm hoping that we could shift some salary in order to keep him here, along with Jason Varitek, because Varitek is the core of this team, whether you want to admit it or not.
As we call amongst our group of friends, high-tech VTech.
That's VTech for us. You know, I mean, he does so many things unforeseen to this game. He calls a great game. He's an excellent defensive catcher. He doesn't throw out as many runners as you'd like to, but, you know, you can't obviously have a perfect baseball player. They say A-Rod is, but, yeah, we don't believe that in our townhouse.
No,
that's
we don't talk about gay Rod.
That's right. He is not a topic of conversation. In any event, Jason Varitek, he is just so valuable to this staff. I mean, he's groomed guys like a Bronson Arroyo, or, you know, all these young pitchers. You know, I mean, he just does such a great job with them. He'll come out to the mound.
Bronson Arroyo too. Like, he goes out to the mound. He says, you know, puts his arm around him. Says, listen, this is what we're gonna do. You know, like a father-son kind of thing almost.
Absolutely. You know, coaching. And half of this game is emotional. Half of it's mental. You know, you really have to get inside the batters' heads, get them to guess what you're throwing, and that's exactly what Arroyo's done.
Change up.
It's exactly. Except with Pedro, it really doesn't matter because whatever he throws, he's still not going to be able to hit it.
Yeah.
So overall prediction, I honestly think that Pedro's last Yankee Stadium start, I mean, didn't go as we had planned. That was the game that went, I believe, 12 or 13 innings, and the Yankees won by 1 run with 2 outs and 2 strikes on them. In any event, I think Pedro is going to rebound very, very nicely. He's had a very, very good history at Yankee Stadium. Had a 17 strikeout, 1-hit game there. Had that great pitcher's duel with Roger Clemens a few years ago with the Trot Nixon home run. I mean, I don't see a way Pedro can lose this game.
I always like to think, you know, if he was bad the last start, this will be his time to shine.
Exactly. And we have had a very, very good series every time out against Mike Mussina. He has never been able to put us down. That's the one thing that he can't stand. Almost like Peyton Manning of the Colts trying to put down the Patriots. It never gonna happen. Because the only good game Mussina has had is that 1-hit shutout in Fenway. And the Red Sox never forgot that. And ever since, he has done absolutely nothing. So it's going to be an interesting series.
So my prediction, I think, will stand. I think we can definitely take 2 out of 3. I have faith in that. So maybe Pedro and the Derek Lowe games we can take. And then tonight will just be the swinger.
Absolutely. Now, crucial to the series is if we could win the first and second game, because we have a 3.5 game lead in the AL East right now. That would put our lead down to 1.5 games. If we sweep it, obviously it would be a half game lead, and that's, in my opinion, that's a bit of a pipe dream. But the key is winning those games consecutively and early. That way, get that lead down as low as possible, and once you get that happening,
momentum going too.
Exactly, get some momentum going. Then when they come back to Fenway, they're going to have hell to pay.
No, no chance. We'll blow right through them. We'll just like walk over them like they're little ants walking across the ground.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, I believe that just about wraps it up. I'd like to thank you for a very nice show.
Great show.
Hopefully we can get to do this again, maybe in a couple weeks. All right, well, that's going to sign off for the Paul Optimism show.
And I guess we could say, go Sox.
And happy trails.
See ya.